bright and early this morning on about 4 different flights. By the way, the Hilltops have a curfew. I'm going to make sure Kevin handles it as well. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And of course, Kevin will be sending a report back tomorrow, and of course, on the big game Saturday as well. And for most members of the Hilltop, Saturday's final will undoubtedly be the biggest game of their careers. And it will be the last game for 2 of them. Kevin Tazowski and Sean Morton will end their junior careers on Saturday. More from Kevin Carius.
Tazowski is the Toppers' go-to guy in the backfield. Knowing he'll play his last game of junior football on Saturday hasn't really set in yet.
I don't know if I really got down to the finality of it in my own mind, that no matter win or lose it, this is going to be my last game in the blue and gold. But you know, it's really exciting. You know, last game I got a chance to be a national champion, and that's what it's all about.
Morton is a defensive back, and he'd like nothing more than to end his career on a winning note.
Oh, definitely. We've been here for 4 years where we've lost out in the PFC final, and during those 4 years we were playing with guys who did win in '91. They all had rings, and we were the only ones who didn't, so we're definitely hoping to come home with one.
The whole year we were looking for a shot at national championship. We thought we had the talent and the desire to compete for one, and now we got the opportunity we were looking for all year. So I'm really excited, looking forward to Saturday, and ready to compete and hopefully win a national championship.
There's no question of people not having intensity. We've had 2 weeks. It's the first time we've had a week off all year, so we'll be well prepared.
Now, Jim promises that Saturday is going to
take off for the Canadian Bowl. That and more next.
Because we know that saving money is your favorite game.
It's 11 o'clock, and this is Sportsline.
Saskatoon Hilltops are gone. They left for the Canadian Bowl this morning, and they hope to return with some hardware. The night in the NHL starts in Ottawa, where the Sens were ready for the Leafs in the All-Ontario battle. And another hockey team, the Huskies, will focus on number 20, the Doctor, here in Canada.
Good evening, I'm Leah Run. Also coming up tonight on Sportsline, we will have highlights from the high school volleyball city championships. Both boys and girls will also check in with the Saskatoon Blades and, of course, have NBA action.
Oh, we'll have that, and we'll have a whole lot more, including a preview of Can West volleyball openers for the Huskies. But first, football. Saskatoon Hilltops have touched down in Oshawa, and a matter of fact, they've already made their mark. 3 members of the Toppers were named All-Canadians tonight. They include wide receiver Kelly McNairn, Sheldon Ball, the quarterback, and Curtis Albers, the fine safety. So that's great news for the Hilltops, who start that way. Dean Jones, the Edmonton Huskies, that outstanding running back, was named the top offensive player in the country, while the top defensive player, Regina Rams linebacker Danny Pascu. As you just saw moments ago, the Hilltops left today, and they're excited, and they're also very focused on the task at hand.
Good luck, guys.
On 3 different flights, the Western Canadian champions made their way to Oshawa for the team's biggest encounter in 5 years. And while the early morning might have taken away from possible scenes of exuberance, this squad is definitely excited about playing for the Canadian crown.
Especially Talent yesterday, they're really getting antsy to go, and their guys are looking really excited. I think it's playing for a national championship. That's pretty exciting. So yeah, everyone's pretty excited for this game.
The Hilltops have already gotten over 2 huge hurdles just to get to this point, with wins over the Rams and the Okanagan Sun. In order to win their most important race, the leader of the Hardy Boys realizes there's a lot more to deal with in the next couple of days than just another opponent.
It's been exciting for the kids. There's no question about that. That's a real challenge for us as a team and as us as a coaching staff, is to get the feedback on the ground for the players on Friday and mix the fun, but also we're there for a reason.
When the Hilltops get down to business Saturday afternoon in Oshawa, they will give the ball to Sheldon Ball. And the 4th-year pivot is healthy again and awfully glad to be back at the helm after giving way to Brad Williamson in the Western Final.
You know, I'm looking forward. This will be my first Canadian final that I've ever played in, so I'm looking forward to going out and doing my best and hopefully doing well.
The Toppers didn't begin this excursion with hardware in hand, but they're certainly hoping to return with some on Sunday.
The Canadian Bowl will be the last junior football game for two Saskatoon Hilltops. Earlier this week, we featured fifth-year topper Kevin Tazowski. Tonight, we focus on starting corner Sean Morton. Sean Morton says he couldn't have planned his Hilltop career any better. The fifth-year topper didn't get much playing time in his first 3 years, but won a starting position in his final season.
This has been my season to make my memories, and it's definitely been a memorable season, and I couldn't have played it out a better way to end it in Canadian Championship.
The Hilltops have named Morton as their 7th honorary captain to recognize his hard work and commitment. The University of
The Regina Rams was named the top defensive player in the country. Dean Jones, as expected, of the Edmonton Huskies, the top offensive player. 3 Hilltops and 3 Rams made the All-Star team. Sheldon Ball of Saskatoon is the quarterback. He is joined by Hilltop teammates Kelly McNairn and Curtis Albers. Dan Pascu, Trent Langford, and Derek Fink represent the Rams on that All-Star team in the Canadian Junior Football League. The Saskatoon Hilltops left this morning for Oshawa, where they will meet the Windsor AKO Fratmen in Saturday's Canadian Bowl. Saskatchewan's domination of Canadian junior football is on the line. Either the Hilltops or Rams have claimed the national title for the last 5 years. Steve Pascolato has more.
It's the night before they leave, and the Hilltops dressing room is bursting with anticipation.
I'm excited for all my teammates. We've all worked hard for this, and we earned it.
Out on the field, it's time for one last practice before Saturday's big game. The players say they've got work to do, particularly on their defense.
And we haven't played a good game in a long time, so we got to go down and play as good.
But in fact, the Hilltops have come off an impressive winning streak. They finished first in the Prairie Football Conference this year, knocking off the 3-time defending national champion, Regina Rams. Then they beat the Okanagan Sun to capture the Western Final. Saturday, they take on the Windsor AKO Fratmen in the Canadian Bowl in Oshawa.
I'm a little concerned that, that nervousness, and we get rid of that real quick, and we just execute kind of the way that we're showing that we've been capable of executing.
Strong tuck. Hardy says the Fratman style of play is different than anything the Hilltops faced this season, so this practice is focusing on some different formations. Sheldon Ball will be the starting quarterback Saturday. He says he's ready for the challenge despite suffering a hip injury last month.
My mobility's fine and throwing's fine, so I'm looking at this game just like any other.
The Fratmen are ranked #1, but Hardy isn't worried. The Hilltops have won 8 national championships since 1953. The last one was in 1991. They're counting on adding to that total Saturday. Steve Pascolato, CBC Sports, Saskatoon.
Well, Don Matthews is one.
Hilltops try to win the Canadian Junior Football title as they'll take on the Windsor AKO Fratmen in the Canadian Bowl, and you can catch all the action right here on STV starting at 12 noon. Head coach Dave Hardy is quite confident that his team can get the job done.
We feel as that we can really upgrade our play from the last 3 games, and I think our kids have bought into that, and I think we've had a great practice week. And I was a little worried after the Okanagan game. We get our feet back on the ground and so forth, and this week has been a great week of practice. It really has, and I think that we've offensively, particularly, we're real sharp. Defensively, we're a practice or 2 away from being exactly where we want to be, but we'll be ready Saturday.
On the topic of big football...
At that same time, the Hilltops and Windsor AKO Fratmen will be underway at the Canadian Bowl in Oshawa. CFL Sunday...
Hilltops, Western Canadian Junior Football champions. Now it's off to the Canadian Junior Football Championship against Windsor. Best of luck to the Hilltops. Join me, Kevin Waugh, for the inside story as I travel with the Hilltops to Oshawa, Ontario for the championship game. For the full story, from the pregame preparations to postgame celebrations, be watching CFQC TV.
Good evening, everyone. Final preparations are over, and all that remains for the Saskatoon Hilltops and Windsor AKO Fratmen is the game itself. They meet in the Canadian Junior Football Final tomorrow in Oshawa, Ontario. Kevin Waugh is down east with the Toppers and files this report.
The Hilltops worked out for the first time in Oshawa, excited about their chances tomorrow. The team is healthy, and they feel if they can play air-free football, they can beat Windsor.
We're excited, it's kind of It's kind of great when you know it's the last practice. You only do that if you're going to play in a championship game, and we're anxious with all the hoopla. We've been waiting around for a while. It's good to get on the practice field, and I know the kids are anxious to get on the game field tomorrow.
But the Hilltops are concerned about Windsor's offense. They use a lot of trap blocking, which is new to the Hilltop defense.
I guess their bread and butter plays the counter trap. They like to run that a lot, and a lot of counters, and they try and keep everything in the middle. So I think we have to shut down the run. That'll be that's our main focus. You know, if we can shut down the run, they don't like to throw the ball that much. So hopefully that'll be good for our defense if we can do that.
Well, they're a better running team, and I think even than Okanagan, and you know, that's something we've been working on all week, and that's what the key is, I think, to shut these guys down and shut down their run, force them to pass, and then hopefully get some picks from the DBs.
A lot has been said what the Hilltops have to do defensively tomorrow against Windsor. But let's keep in mind, the Toppers average 48 points per game. And it's the throwing arm of Sheldon Ball that will be the key tomorrow to success.
We've got a few new schemes, so I think we can take advantage of some things there. And, you know, looking at their films, they got some pretty good guys. And, you know, they're going to be coming out to play. So I think it's just a matter of who wants it more.
We got wicked receivers all over the field. I mean, I may be a key guy, but like you said, I got the All-Canadian award, and I'm sure they'll be keying on me some plays. And, you know, we got Morley on the other side who can do just as much as I can. So I'm just happy to be here.
Oddly enough, both franchises, Windsor and Saskatoon, are marking their 50th anniversary of junior football. But for the Hilltops, they are hoping to celebrate their 10th Canadian Football Championship tomorrow. Kevin Waugh, BBS Sports in Oshawa.
And Kevin will have the highlights and post-game reaction.
Both crowned champions. First to the Toppers. Saskatoon winning the Canadian Bowl this afternoon, beating Windsor. Kevin Waugh has been with the Toppers the last few days and has this report from Oshawa.
And the Hilltops in their blue.
The Hilltops on the very first play set the tone for the championship game. Rhett Lundgren takes the kickoff and goes 90 yards to give the Toppers a quick 7-0 lead. Fratmen controlled part of the second quarter, but with a little over a minute left until halftime, the Hilltops' Kelly McNairin hauls in this pass in the corner to give the Hilltops a 10-point lead at halftime, 17-7. The Hilltop defense established themselves in the second half. Linebackers Ty Montney and Darryl Balzer shutting down the running game. In the fourth, the Toppers were up 25-7. Sheldon Ball will hit Pat Morley for a 20-yard strike to put the game away. The offense, the special teams, and later the defense scored a touchdown. Here Bobby Gibson picking up the fumble and going 39 yards to pay dirt. It's celebration time on the sidelines as the Hilltops blow out Windsor 39-7 to win the junior football championship. Rhett Lundgren may have started the onslaught for the Hilltops, but it was the defense that really came through, especially in the second half.
We stuffed them time and time again, which I think helped our offense. Gave them a little bit of time to get their bearings, and then finally they got some points on the board, and we just took it from there. You know, we ran up to score a little bit at the end just because we were on a roll. We got ourselves on a roll. It took a bit of time, but I think the defense was the catalyst for that.
They like to run the ball a lot, and our key would be our front seven. And I thought, you know, Darryl Balzer especially had a great game, and our D-line played really well, keeping the quarterback contained and making him throw the ball a little sooner than I think he wanted to when he passed.
Offensively, Kevin Tysowski and Curtis Bullich did a tremendous job in the backfield. Bullich was named the offensive player of the game.
Yeah, that's a credit to the O-linemen. You know, they've been blocking all year, and they haven't been getting the press that they deserve. And, you know, this trophy is to them.
We ran the football maybe a little bit better than I thought we might be able to. You know, we've been able to, we tried to get the ball in the hands of McNairin and Morley and Lundgren and all those sorts of people for all sorts of good reasons. But when we didn't, you know, Kevin Tysowski and Curtis Bullich just did a great job. Curtis is a great blocker. Good to see him named the offensive player of the game. Catches the ball. He's a prototype fullback. You know, he just did a great job.
Oh, this is probably the greatest feeling in the world I've ever had playing football.
Look at this guy, unbelievable!
You know,
all Canadian.
We struggled in the first half, and you know, we just kept plugging away, and finally, you know, we got some plays.
The Hilltops return home tomorrow morning with the junior football championship in hand, with a convincing 39-7 win over Windsor. Kevin Waugh, BBS Sports, Oshawa.
So the Toppers arrive on tomorrow, and they'll be on various flights coming in to Saskatoon. So they do up the 50th anniversary properly. Now to the Huskies, and they are Hardy Cup champions. BT and the boys beating UBC this afternoon at Griffith Stadium, and now advance to the Churchill Bowl. Craig Wilson has those highlights.
A UBC turnover leads to the Huskies' first score. Greg Meikle outfights the defender and comes up with the catch for a 9-yard touchdown to make it 7-0 Huskies. UBC comes right back, though, on its next possession. Sean Olsen to Akbal Singh over the middle, and the rookie running back does the rest. The game is tied 7-7. A big play sets up the next Husky score. Meikle makes the catch at midfield, then picks up some blocking down the sidelines. He's got just one man to beat, but gets caught from behind. It is downed at the 1. Unfortunately, Meikle suffers a dislocated wrist and is gone for the rest of the game. Jarrett Rennie finishes the drive off with a 1-yard plunge, and the Huskies celebrate a 14-7 lead as Meikle heads to the dressing room. Doug Rosen was unable to play today, but Tony Chad more than filled in. Chad with 187 yards rushing, including this 40-yard touchdown run that puts the Dogs up 21-7 midway through the second quarter. The Huskies made 2 great defensive stands in the game. Third quarter, UBC is third and goal from the 6, but Warren Musica snuffs things out by sacking Olsen, and the Huskies get the ball. Later in the third, Rennie takes a little shovel pass from Brent Schneider and puts the icing on the cake with a 6-yard touchdown run. The Huskies win the Hardy Cup with a convincing 37-16 victory over UBC.
We are a veteran club, and we do have a lot of depth at most areas. But I mean, we know that, you know, this is, I mean, hats off to UBC. They played an extraordinary game. It's probably the most hard-hitting game we've been in all year, easily. But I mean, with the veteran squad, we know that this is just the first step. I mean, we have 2 more to go.
It's a great way to finish off playing here, and you know, guys did a super job today. Everybody played hard, and you know, we were real physical with them, and they were hating it all day, and you know, now we've taken 1 step towards where we want to go.
It's incredible. We had our best game of the year, came up, fired out, and we were just emotional for 60 minutes. We didn't let up for 1 second.
And emotional with the cup presentation, you break the darn thing.
What was that about? I don't know. Must be like 80 years old. It just fell apart.
Yeah, it was a great team effort. We really wanted this one, and we came together as a team, and yeah, we're just hitting our peak right now.
The guys played really hard. Our defense was outstanding all day long, and they made some big plays when they had to. We had the big goal line stand when they had any life at all to get back in it, and a couple big interceptions late.
Off to the Churchill Bowl next week against Guelph. 9-man provincial final. Humboldt beat Shaunavon 48-6, and in the 1A final, Loreburn over Birkdale 46-34. All right, to hockey and
Valvoline, especially when it's deserted.
WestJet save you up to 70% off traditional.
Good evening, everybody. It was a super Saturday for football with 2 Saskatoon teams in extremely big games, but none bigger than the Saskatoon Hilltops, who went in search of another Canadian championship as they tangled with the Windsor AKL Fratmen in the Canadian Bowl, a game you might have caught earlier today right here on STV, and if you did, here's how it looked from Oshawa, Ontario. And there's a look at the field in front of a rather small crowd. Hilltops get to work early, real early. This is the opening kickoff. That is Rhett Lundgren, and you're seeing right, ladies and gentlemen. He is gone. 95 yards. You couldn't dream up such a start. But miracles do happen, and it's 7-0 for the Toppers. Windsor tries to respond. Brian Wakeman with a pass. It's deflected and picked off by everybody's favorite guy, Mike Lang, and the Hilltops recover. From there, a 22-yard field goal by Chris Mossing made it 10-0. But the AKO Fratmen get on the board on the second. Brian Wakeman, all kinds of time, but he's going to hook up with Chris Fillion. He goes 25 yards, and it cuts the lead to 10-7. From there, the Hilltops reclaim their 10-point lead. Ball airs it out for Kelly Air McNairin. Touchdown Toppers, and it's 17-7 at the half in the third. Here's some more. McNairin, once again, he's down at the 2-yard line, and the next play, Sheldon Ball scampers in, and that makes it 25-7 after 3. Ask for more, you've got it. Ball deep for Pat Morley. Oh, what a catch. Toppers lead this one big time. Dave Hardy, you can smile now. Well, okay, he's going to smile after this play, because the Toppers are going to put this one to bed as Bobby Gibson picks up the loose fumble. He takes it in all the way, 39-7. Let's get this party started, because the Hilltops are your Canadian Junior Football champions. There you have it. It's on the screen. It's official. 39-7 is the final. That is, ladies and gentlemen, the 9th Canadian championship for the Saskatoon Hilltops. What a year. They're simply the best. And and they're going to start returning home to Saskatoon tomorrow, 11:10. The first flight arrives at the Saskatoon airport. You might want to go check them out. Say congratulations to the boys. Now let's check on some post-game comments, beginning with the offensive player of the game.
I can't believe that. That's, you know, a credit to the 11 other guys on the field and all the other 58 guys that have been working hard all year, and this trophy's for them.
I guess you'll be celebrating long into the night.
You betcha.
I think our whole team played really well. You know, they're Oshawa, or the Windsor team, sorry, they came out and they tried to run the ball on us. Our defense did a pretty good job on the run, and that's what we needed to do to stop them on the run. It was key for us to do well. And then our offense, they kind of struggled, but you know, we knew as long as we could, you know, as long as we keep in the game, our offense would come through.
All right, from one great game to another as the Corey get there. Coming up next on Sportsline, the Saskatoon Hilltops return home. We'll talk to the Canadian Junior Football Champions on Sportsline coming up next.
I do a lot of customer contact, and if you're in the middle of a presentation and you've got 25 people sitting there looking at you, there's nothing worse than having your plate drop. Ultra Poly Grip is a lifesaver for me as far as what I do with my life. As I say, giving up food isn't my idea of living.
Purex has gone to great lengths to give you a longer-lasting bathroom tissue. Purex Double Roll. With twice as many pillowy soft sheets on every roll, it takes forever to run out. Purex Double Roll. Pillowy softness that lasts twice as long.
I'll be home for Christmas.
Finally, the first house we ever owned.
This is the best Christmas present ever. It's gonna be fun to fix up.
We agreed that anything else we gave each other had to be gifts for the house.
Fortunately, we found a neighbor who had everything we needed.
I'll be home for Christmas.
Give this Moulinex deep fryer with 2.5-liter oil capacity and odor filter to $79.97.
To be relaxed and at ease with myself, I can't do that if I haven't slept. I went in and I spoke to my pharmacist, and he recommended Nital to me. I tried it. When I woke up in the morning, I had slept. It was wonderful. I had slept.
Sportsline is brought to you in part by Fort Garry Industries, the trucker's best friend.
It's 11 o'clock, and this is Sportsline. They're back, and they're champions. The Saskatoon Hilltops return home following yesterday's victory in the Canadian Bowl. The CFL does the semi-final thing on two fronts, Bombers versus the Eskimos, and Tiger Cats get it on with the Alouettes. And the Blades look for that winning touch as they play host to the Swift Current Broncos out at Saskatchewan Place. Good evening, everybody. I'm Corey Genther. Also tonight on Sportsline, the Husky football team gets ready for the Churchill Bowl. NHL action, including a wild one in Philly with the Leafs and Flyers. The Cowboys get it on with the 49ers. Plus, we look back to the Holyfield-Tyson fight and so much more. But we begin things tonight with your 1996 Canadian Junior Football champion, Saskatoon Hilltops. They arrived back in Saskatoon today after knocking off the Windsor AKL Fratmen 39-7 yesterday. Now, the Toppers just about didn't make it back. On the way to the airport in Toronto, their bus caught on fire. But yes, they escaped, and we caught up to them as they touched down in Saskatoon. They are the best in the country. The Hilltops returned home to a party-like atmosphere, bringing home their 9th Canadian title.
I guess this is my 4th year that I've waited for this, so it hasn't sunk in. But, You know, we got all off season to let it happen, and you know, now we just got to start thinking about two-peat.
I don't even think it's really set in yet. Like I just think it's terrific. I've lost my voice for having so much fun and just yelling and screaming, and I think over the next couple of weeks it'll even set in more, and I'll enjoy like after the banquet, and you know, so it hasn't really set in yet, and it's just great. Like just being with the guys on the field, oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be like that, but you know, that's just a bonus, the award that I got, and that's a credit to you know all 58 other guys on this team.
It was the big play on the opening kickoff that sparked the Toppers to victory and helped everyone get things going.
If we don't score on that return, we're going to score on another one, or we're going to score on another big play. One of the most gratifying things I think about yesterday, Corey, was the fact that, you know, we really controlled the line of scrimmage. We ran the football, we stopped the run, and we know that the Rhett Lundgrens and the Kelly McNairns and so forth are going to make some plays. But to dominate physically like we did yesterday was really gratifying.
By winning a Canadian championship, the Hilltops now have built memories that will last a lifetime.
They'll be just, you know, feeling that championship victory in that last second of the game when everyone's coming together and you're pouring the Gatorade on coach and all that. Just a great feeling.
Party last night was good. Early this morning was not good.
Oh, she was a big party last night.
How much sleep did you get?
We got to bed around 5. Woke up at 5:30.
Really a perfect weekend.
Crushing Windsor 39-7 yesterday in Oshawa, Ontario. And as John Lewis explains, community interest is an important element in the Hilltops' performance.
Somebody doesn't have a sheet to sleep on tonight.
That doesn't matter. We won the championship. We don't care.
Fans were pumped with excitement, waiting for the Hilltops' return. They wanted to give the football team a warm welcome back after winning the National Junior Championship from the Windsor AKO Fratmen. Some of the supporters are relatives of the Hilltops and couldn't help feeling proud of the team.
Oh, man, yes. It is for all of us here that are waiting, and there's been a lot of hype throughout the week and so on and so forth, and it's all culminated. It's a really big thing for the kids as well as all the relatives and the friends, yeah.
Well, I was just thrilled for Charles and for all of them, though, as a team, because they work together so well.
Most of these people followed every game, agonizing over defeats and cheering the victories.
Oh, they lost the first game they played in the year. They tied the second one and then won every game since. But there were some excellent games, really close games, especially against Regina and the semi-final against BC. Excellent game, very down to the last minute.
And it's this kind of support many attribute as a key part of the Hilltop success.
They have really good support in the province, or in the city of Saskatoon. And it seems that everybody comes out whether or not they have family playing, or if it's just because it's the Saskatoon Hilltops.
What better way could you run out the year with 50th anniversary than to be #1 in Canada? There's no better way.
A golden moment for a golden anniversary. John Lewis, BBS News, Saskatoon.
In other news, cup in hand. The first wave of Saskatoon Hilltops flew into the Bridge City this morning just before noon. 5 separate flights brought in the champs. Players and coaches were greeted by a good-sized group of Hilltop supporters. The Toppers beat Windsor AKO Fratmen yesterday in Oshawa 39-7. A great way to cap off the 50th season.
Well, we're just, you know, one a relief, I guess. You know, it's all over. You kind of don't have anything else to prepare for, and put our feet up. Hope the Huskies win the Vanier Cup. Hope Walter Murray wins the provincial championship, and sort of make Saskatoon like the football capital of Canada.
So what was your reaction today, stepping off the plane and seeing all these fans?
Yeah, that was great. You know, to see a few parents, a lot of happy parents here, and a lot of media. It's great.
Oh, it's great. I never expected that. You know, it's great. We got fans that stayed here and watched the game, and I'm just happy we give them a good show.
And I think that this team really has the support